folks. My name is Charlotte Clymer. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a writer and activist, and I am so excited to be part of this historic gathering of women across the country. Now, look, I'm not going to repeat to y'all what the brilliant and eloquent women have stated before me, and nor do I have the eloquence and brilliance of the women who are going to speak over the remainder of the evening. I'm just going to tell y'all a quick story about why I proudly support Vice President Harris.
First thing, it was white dudes for Kamala. Now it's women for Kamala. What is going on with your guys' country? Anyway, Bank of America predicts S&P 500 has peaked. Very bullish. Now, listen to me. I'm going to show you what's going on here. And lack of recaps last week was because I was on vacation, and I'm also gonna tell you my main plays that you can set up and watch so you don't miss them if they rip, and why. I want to take you all the way back to when flowers started to bloom. This whole thing here, this whole dirty whatever was going on here, it's starting to look exactly like this here. Today we touched the 9 and rejected, but more so we have 4 days in a row here where this is just like, this is like Big Mike trying to get into a some figure skates. It doesn't fit, right? So Powell or someone needs to crack this. Now, here's the thing. I am bullish. What can send this to the gulag all the way down here? Bank of Japan raising their rates. Now, if you guys remember, back a year ago, I was on holiday. Things were great, fantastic. Everything was peachy. That was then mentioning the possibility of raising rates. That's when this whole thing started. That we could also be in already. What happened here? Well, Trump got shot and AI Joe disappeared after the media telling us that he was fit as many of us gentlemen in the chat. Anyways, that can send us down. But since we have like slight buying here, and also AMD came in to save the market very nicely, in my opinion. There you go. Nice little bounce there. There was no dark pool buying across. There was no dark pool selling or buying today. That's why everything's very weird here and why we have this volatility. What we did have, and I mentioned it on voice, was a huge, almost 800,000 shares of NVIDIA resting right here. That was confirmed by this ghost candle on QQQ. That filled, and NVIDIA has since bounced almost $8. I am pretty sure that the bottom is in on this bad boy here. And obviously, when you're dealing with that type of cash, you don't do it on the dark pool, you do it on the stock market. It sends a message. Okay? Capiche? Wonderful. LMT is going vertical. Can it go higher? Sure. But at some point, it's going to have to start going backwards here. This would be a perfect time to rotate back into chippies. I still think that FANG stocks are too inflated. Now, obviously, Meta got a haircut that it's already almost bounced back from on pins. CrowdStrike sucking ass, but should get a decent bounce soon. Would I buy it? No. They're gonna get sued by everybody and go fill this gap and then go fill that gap, but that's premature. As you see, Starbucks ripped on bad earnings, McDonald's ripped on bad earnings, so they're going through all these food weapons and oil to pump it. Then they're gonna take that money and stick it into their darlings again. The 10-year yield has kept coming down and is waiting for us to rip, in my opinion. They're trying to tell you Bitcoin is the greatest thing ever, even though it does absolutely nothing. Okay, fantastic. SPY, you see they were loading calls today. Now, does this mean that Powell sends it? No. Why? Because we're in a VIX market. The positive thing here is that the VIX has not been able to crack this trend line, and it's starting to curl down. Fantastic. It's got room all the way down to 1064. How do we catch the rippy? Well, here's my theory. You can do with it as you please. You can just stick to SPY, or you can do what I'm looking to do. This is by far the best setup in the stock market, based on this volume shelf here, based on the beautiful stow down there, the daily, and also based on the fact that we are retesting this breakout trend line twice, not once but twice. Okay, what does that mean? That means if you go and look at 32s, which would be right there, they're like 8 cents. We're looking at them at 6 today. Already have a starter around 10. If Powell does something crazy, and the best case scenario here is not a surprise cut tomorrow. It's mentioning a cut in September, okay? Because cut means haircut, unless it's a surprise, okay? That could send this up to here by Friday, and that's 1,000% trade. Now, I'm not going to trade anything tomorrow until Powell. I'm not going to do it. I know there's plenty of action. I'll probably sleep in, which I rarely do. But to me, it's all about Powell and Apple and NFP, and I'll get to that. This is the FOMC play, if he sends it. It's going to be the rate-sensitive stuff. Now, looking at KRE, he might not do it. Those premiums are really juiced. UPST is not. And this, as you can see, once this starts going, here, it runs. So there's no reason if this starts running, this can't get to 32. I would personally want them to beat up contracts all day tomorrow and get the 30s. That is a possible 1,000% trade. On to the next one. Here, we have an Apple ghost candle. Dom posted it to 206. Now, Apple has given up some gains after hours. It's bumping around here. So you got 206. Okay, so best case scenario, what does the market do? Market rips on Powell, dies on Apple. Now, if you've traded Apple in the past on earnings, you know that it can either gap or gap down and then run the next day. Okay, like here, gap down. Okay, it is like Microsoft, legendary for IV flushes and whatever earnings result, and then it'll run. So what I would want here to happen is the following. Here you got your perfect head and shoulders. If it comes down to here, maybe tomorrow, boom, down to there, and then retrace. Those premiums are going to be very, very cheap come Thursday morning if that happens. Okay, so that's Thursday's play. Okay, at this point in time, NFP, we are going to be looking back. Either maybe we're still in UPST, but we'll be looking at you know who absolutely reaped. But today, the reason I didn't take it was this. It had already ripped from 210 to like 213 at open. So that, okay. But as we discussed on the full moon circle, it can definitely go higher, and I'm expecting it to go to 217. I would hope tomorrow it doesn't go higher. I want it to kill some premiums because I would love to play that move on Friday. So UPST, JPM, possibly KRE. The problem I have with KRE is the premiums are telling me that I need to be playing 62s, which I don't really want to play here. That just seems too far out with the Stowe and the TTM starting to keel over. With that said, IWM still holding but losing a little bit of its, still hasn't, it's hung out here for a week and a half, hasn't been able to close that gap. So FOMC is the best chance it has, and then we have NFP. So you have huge possible market movers here. Not only do you get European inflation tonight, that could totally gap us up. We have early high tomorrow. You can fade that move if you want. This is going to be huge. It's going to be all about the press conference. So I don't know how price is going to react to the announcement, whatever it may be. Maybe it's another pop and go, or a dump and then retrace, or just straight dump. It's all about his rhetoric. And then you have this, but more importantly, besides this as well, is this. Okay, that forecast is coming in low, so this is going to move the market. I'm going to play calls on it, especially if Apple is down on Thursday morning. So lots to play, a lot of moves. I'll be on letting you know what I play, but just listed the plays. The Namo here, I don't know if it's updated yet. Let's see. No, not yet. Maybe it did. It's ready for a bounce though, in my opinion. So we still have the 470 ghost candle. We have the 553 on SPY. There's plenty to play for here, in my opinion. Apple quick head and shoulders and bounce would be awesome. I think they're going to rotate into chips. Oh yeah, LRCX. Now, as we discussed and Bogna pointed out, the estimate is, what it is. And if you look at, it's pretty flat. This has been beaten to death big time. Not a big earnings mover if you look on the chart, but the premiums. And if we can get ARM on the legs of AMD and LRCX and Qualcomm to start pumping here, whether it's premiums could really juice. And I mean, that's a nice $8 bounce on Nvidia. So that's all you need to know, in my opinion. With that said, guys, until this market stops acting as crazy as the political landscape, and they want you to care about Venezuela because, oil and stuff like that. I mean, look at this RSI here on Nvidia. I mean, this is like bounce central. Basically, what we want Powell to do is take the daily RSI from 30, whatever, 40, where we are here, up to 50. That's what we want to accomplish tomorrow in order then to run up. And there's this big half moon in the volume shelf. Okay, guys, thank you.
Get on the right, boom, keep going. We're turning the moon, baby. $776 billion. Couple contracts, the old contracts are $76 billion.